So, Suzanne, thank you very much for making time for this conversation. People have a lot of questions right now, and really it's how to lead in and through a pandemic. You're leading the business community through these really uncertain times. What are you focusing on in the moment that is helping you to do that?
Well, thanks, Ashley, for everything that you're doing. It's so unprecedented. There's no playbook for any of us, but I think all we can do is try to get in touch with our instincts about people and what they need in this time, and really try to be empathetic and understand that everybody's experiencing a different moment, whether you can see, the backpack on their back or not. It's different for everybody, and we just have to try to get in touch with that.
Mhm. So, what about purpose and values? How do you hold on to the purpose during these turbulent times when everything is changing and businesses are just trying to survive?
I think it's why it's so important to have a purpose and to have shared values before there's a crisis. So you really have something to lean on. You and I were talking in the virtual green room
Yeah.
about the fact that we happen to be in families that really value faith. And so that's a value that our families can hold on to in this time. At the chamber, we went through a big exercise on shared purpose, and we have spent several years talking about why we're there, what our mission is, what we have in common. And that's been a great North Star for us in this time.
It sure has. It's really a scary time for everyone. And crisis really moves us, it tests us, it shakes everyone's confidence. So, what are you seeing? What are crisis leaders doing well that is helping to calm the situation?
It feels to me that it's a combination of what we just talked about, which is staying true to your purpose and continuing to center people on that purpose. At the chamber, we say we wake up every day knowing what a job means to a community and how can we help that. And so continually centering our work back on that North Star and that commonality is important. The second is just being human, and I admitted on air the other day that I wasn't wearing shoes. How do you admit that you're human too? Your dog barks, your kid wants lunch in the middle of the day, your elderly parent needs help. How do you share your own ways that you're experiencing this pandemic, because it makes you human too. I think sometimes leaders don't want to take a risk and put themselves out there, but it's in those moments of risk that you really become more authentic, and that bonding that happens with people, that relation between people, then I think helps us get through even better, even closer.
Well, that kind of leads us into a question about our last question about, who is really inspiring you at the moment? And, what have you learned in this crisis?
It's interesting to me because every week when we do a staff meeting, I try to end it with something that's inspiring me. But I've tried to do it in a way that different people can connect with it. So I've used sports analogies or famous coaches' speeches or poetry or humor, just ways to try to connect with people in a different way, things that I'm finding inspiring. I have found some of Peggy Noonan's writing very inspiring in this time as she searches for meaning. And our own chair of the board, Maura Donahue, has been very inspiring. And the reason is because she says thank you, because she notices the work and she notices the effort, and she calls up and says, how are you? How's the team? And I noticed what you did and it was important. And I think that's just a real inspirational leadership quality right now that's helping me personally get through this.
Well, thank you. I know I've been on the receiving end of your many thank yous. And so I really appreciate your time and such great insight, Suzanne. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashley. You stay safe.
You too.